Hello world, Griff here again. Remember, I'm not a professional sportscaster. I have no qualifications. I'm just a guy with a voice. Okay, so the first World Cup video was long. It took me a while to edit it. Even then, it was not so good. And now I have 7 more to get done in like 3 days. I said these videos would be shorter. So of course, this is Group B, which is the group I care about the most.
USA!
USA! But I gotta go fast, so here we go. England's national team roster is stacked. I mean stacked. Start with the fact that Raheem Sterling, Phil Foden, and team captain Harry Kane constitute a front line that could start for any top team in Europe. Add to that players like Jack Grealish, Marcus Rashford, and Bukayo Saka coming off the bench, and England have attacking talent for days. In the midfield, they've got title-winning veteran Jordan Henderson, who isn't even an every-match starter, along with young talent in the form of Declan Rice, Mason Mount, and Calvin Phillips. England's wide defenders are basically attackers who also defend. If there is a weakness in the side, it's in central defense. Harry Maguire is just not the world-class defender that some people seem to think that he is. Eric Dyer's best years are probably behind him, and John Stones usually gets more praise for his passing than his defending. With that said, it's pretty revealing to admit I'd take any one of those 3 guys for the US roster right now. England traditionally have hit some kind of a psychological wall at the World Cups. They've had talented rosters in the past that somehow managed to not make it past the first knockout match. However, they've pretty much always gotten themselves to said knockout matches. This is the only team in the entire group I'm confident to say will go through, with the one caveat, there's always the chance they'll stumble into second place. Next up is Wales, which is actually a separate country from England, apparently. Not meaning to sound rude, Welsh people, but it really feels like you are the Texas of the UK. But I digress. The roster for Wales is not as stacked as England, but it's not insignificant. 9 Welsh players currently play in the Premier League, although only Ben Davies of Tottenham Hotspur plays for a Big Six side. The rest of the roster is scattered among English second-tier clubs and continental European sides of various quality, with beloved former gunner and team vice-captain Aaron Ramsey currently at Nice in France. They also have some guy who plays in Major League Soccer in the United States. All kidding aside, if you're watching this and you don't know who Gareth Bale is, welcome. You're among friends. But I'm going to assume you're an American who doesn't follow the game very much. So let me explain Gareth Bale in American sports terminology. This guy is basically John Elway, a couple parts Robert Horry and Reggie Jackson with a little bit of Christian Laettner sprinkled in just for flavor. Gareth Bale over the last 5 or 6 years has stepped up in big games for one of the best club teams on earth time and again. And he just showed off that same clutch scoring recently in the MLS Cup final, heading in a last-minute goal in overtime that sent the game to penalty kick shootout that his club eventually won. So look, on paper, Wales might be third in this group for some, but if you think they can't pull off an upset and get themselves through to the knockout stages, just watch that Laettner basket against Kentucky a few times. I predict they could go through, but probably won't. Next up, it's USA! Look, I believe that we will win. I really do. But I'm supposed to be impartial for the purposes of these videos, so we'll see how I do. The US roster includes 11 players playing for clubs in the top 5 leagues in Europe, which you might notice is the same number as potential finalists Netherlands, with 4 of those players in particular playing at title contenders. Christian Pulisic of Premier League side Chelsea has been the anointed savior of US soccer since even before we missed out on the 2018 tournament. Weston McKennie currently plays for Italian giants Juventus in Serie A. Serginho Dest plays down the road at AC Milan, where he's on loan from Barcelona. Goalkeeper Matt Turner is currently with the top of the league Arsenal Football Club, though admittedly he's not the starter, and the roster rounds out with players like Timothy Weah, Giovanni Reina, and Yunus Musa, all 22 or younger and considered players to watch in the future. Throw in an MLS contingent that plays in a league that is far stronger than it was just 10 years ago, and the talent level of the US men's team is legitimately, well, it's above average, honestly. Being as impartial and honest as I possibly can be, the US has lacked consistency and cohesion during the current World Cup cycle. If they play to their full potential, they should go through. But make no mistake, the margin for error in this group is razor thin. 3 points against both Wales and Iran are a must. And so we arrive at Iran, the team I know basically nothing about in this group. Glance at the roster shows that only 1 player is at a club in a top 5 European league. Leading scorer, Sardar Azmoun. As always, sorry for the ignorant pronunciation. Here and there, a few players are at mid-level European sides like Porto, Feyenoord, Dynamo Zagreb, and there's a strong contingent from their national league, particularly regional club powerhouse Persepolis. This squad is also the oldest on average at this World Cup. And look, national pride is always a major factor at every match in the World Cup. but there's no way to avoid the fact that Iran's matches against the United States and England will have an added edge based on the colorful history involved. The Iran players, just like every team at the World Cup, want to give their countrymen and women something to cheer about. I wouldn't put it past Iran to win a match or to scrap out more than one draw, but if they go through to the elimination games, it will be a major upset. As I record this, it's Sunday morning. The Cup starts in about an hour, so no big outro. Group C will follow fast on the heels of this one, and I'm trying to somehow get Groups D and E published Monday, F and G on Tuesday, rounding out with H on Wednesday. Don't be surprised if I miss some or all of those deadlines, and if some matches have already been played when these are posted, so be it. I'm doing my best here, people. Until the next time, pray for world peace and be kind to others. See you soon, world. And so we arrive at Iran.